I don't know who I am as a person. How do I, videos like this where I'm just being real and really putting out all the things that I'm struggling with, all the thoughts that I've been going through my head. These types of videos make me a little bit scared because I have to be really vulnerable and I really have to put myself out there. I've said it a million times, social media is fake. It's fucking fake. If you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on TikTok, even that is fake. It's all fake. I mean, it's me, and I'm really trying my best to show my real life and show bad mental health days and all that jazz, but it still is a small snippet of my life, and I really hope none of you guys are ever comparing your situation to mine. Again, it's not the whole picture. There's always things happening behind the scenes. I have a lot of family issues going on right now, and personal and relational. Yeah, so the theme of today's video is getting our shit together and getting all the things that have been weighing on me off of my chest so I can leave this feeling lighter and you guys can maybe leave this feeling seen. So I have been having a lot of shifts and a lot of realizations this last week, like more than ever. Recently moved, I'm in a new space that is really freaking amazing. But as much as I want to be fully happy and be like so secure in myself and everything that I'm doing, I'm not. I really thought moving here would fix a lot of the problems that I'm having, but it hasn't. Obviously, you can never look for your external environment to fix your internal state, and basically moving here was a huge slap in the face that is 100% true, because internally I'm really struggling. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna like word vomit all of the things that I have been feeling. My legs are just dead. Time to shower our onion smelling ass. I'm just gonna put it all out there, and the main realization I have had in this last week is that I don't know who I am as a person. I have an unstable sense of self, and that's something that's really hard for me to admit. Yeah, I always thought I was a confident person. I thought I knew myself, and I realize now more than ever that that is just not true. I think I'm confident when I'm alone, when I'm in the safety of my aloneness and there's not other people around me and I'm able to speak my full truth and not overthink it. But it's like the second other people get added into the mix, I start to overthink my words. I start to think like, oh, what do I look like from this person's perspective? Like, am I behaving weird? Am I behaving awkwardly right now? Like shit like that. It's ugly to admit. I just don't want to realize that that is the place I'm at, but it's 100% where I'm at. It's relaying over to the social media content I've been putting out because I overthink what I'm putting out, and I'm like, is this feeling staged? Is this my true self? And then I'm like, who is my true self? And let me tell you how I know that I don't really know who I am. I have a loose idea. I know what makes me passionate. I know what makes me happy. I know I love nature. I know I freaking love food. I love food. But as for knowing all things that make me tick, all the things that are my strengths and weaknesses and my skills and abilities, I don't really know them. And the amazing thing is, I'm at the ripe age of 21. I'm at that stage in my life where I'm able to start discovering myself and doing all the things that light me up inside and make me have a deeper connection with myself. Excuse me. But yeah, I think that's the journey that we're going to be taking together in the next couple months. Kicking out some of those old habits, some of those old beliefs that have been running the show, bringing in a new wave of productivity and gentleness on myself, prioritizing feeding my mind and feeding my body correctly and moving my body in ways I enjoy and meditating. And now I'm going to go back to what I was saying earlier, which was that unstable sense of myself. I think this dates back to many things, but just to dissect it a little bit. When I was a little girl, I remember always like being compared to other people. That made me second guess myself. And then going into school, I never really had like a stable friend group. I had friends in like different areas of my life, like my gymnastics team, I was super tight with those girls. I did a youth group and I was super tight with the people there. In high school I had friends, like a bunch of different groups, but it wasn't like I had a solid group. I remember just always like over analyzing everything I did. Basically I described it to Nathan as like It's almost like there's just so many different versions of me that exist, and different versions of myself show up for different scenarios, but I wish it was just one cohesive version of Hannah across all things, and I was just confidently myself. So we're gonna do some of these affirmations. Oh, fuck, stop yawning. I believe in myself. I have so many talents and abilities that are becoming more apparent every day. I have a positive and powerful self-image. I radiate inner confidence, calmness, and power. I can handle any situation I meet. The way I act and react radiates confidence and stress. And stress. The way I act and react radiates confidence and success. I am in the center of my desired reality and my ideal timeline. Everything is working out in my favor. So as you can tell, our current goal is manifesting inner confidence and just not second guessing and doubting myself so much. And honestly, like with you guys, I am more myself than ever. I am just thankful as fuck that I have you guys. But anyways, to give you guys a little bit more background on myself, and I want to do a whole story on my life because honestly there's a lot to unpack, but to give you a little bit more context on the unstable sense of self. I also was in a relationship for 2.5 years in high school, which is something I haven't really talked about much, but that was like a huge part of my life. I graduated high school, and then me and that guy that I was with split up, and I was on my own. And instead of having that time for myself, I actually just got drunk more days out of the week than I wasn't, and I was hanging out with this group that partied a ton, and it was a really like toxic, like fun for a while, but then like toxic phase of my life, and I really wanted out. And once I started to get out of it, I met Nathan. Now here I am 2 years later in a relationship, and I'm trying to discover my sense of self, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's like hard to do that while you're also trying to love another person and like trying to show love to yourself too. So that has been hard. So I just discovered that about myself, and I think the reason I'm like starting to discover it now is because my life has been really busy these last couple years. I graduated college, I was working and all this stuff, and now I'm in a position where I do have the blessing of just being me. Literally my job is to self-develop, but I've been butchering it and I haven't been doing that, and my mind has been running the show, and it just hasn't been the most productive thing ever. But that's gonna change. And to go back to what I was saying, let me jog my mind. This siren noise is throwing me off. But yeah, I've really been butchering this opportunity to learn more about myself, and I think I just put so much pressure on myself that doesn't need to be there at all. And I compare myself a lot to my boyfriend. He has his shit together so much, and it makes me feel like something is severely wrong with me because he can wake up, he finishes all his to-do lists. We literally have a whiteboard right here, and he writes like all his stuff he has to do for the week. He's just super organized, super structured, same time for bed every day, whatever, and I'm just like chaos. I actually just got a communication coach who is helping me. She's like my therapist, but she also teaches me how to communicate. But she's helping me realize that we're just two different people, and I have a different style of working than him, and I also just have a different role than him in my life right now. So I need to give myself grace, and I need to practice what I preach to all of you and give myself grace, because I'm a phony. I don't even do that sometimes. I tell you guys to do all this shit, and I don't do it myself sometimes. I just hope that you guys hear these words and take it as like, okay, it's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to be a stranger in your own body and be a stranger to yourself. Through self-development and journaling and reading and doing all those things to fill your own cup, you will slowly start to learn who you are. And I'm gonna make it a huge priority of mine to document this growth with all of you. Yeah, I just want to feel comfortable being on my own. I want to feel comfortable going and doing things by myself and going and finding new hikes and new places and stuff. And I would consider myself a fairly independent person, but then when I really think about it, I don't do a ton of things like just myself, and I don't know what that stems from. I think my anxiety convinces me in my head that like everything that I'm gonna do is gonna turn into a worst case scenario, and it's really crippling because then I just don't do anything. I just have this all or nothing mentality. Like if I wake up and I check my phone first thing, for example, that's something I try not to do, then the whole trajectory of my day is messed up because I'm like, oh, I already messed up here, like let me just keep messing up throughout this day because this whole day is just a L. That just makes no sense, that approach. And I have all the time in the world to be doing all these things, and I don't freaking do them. I don't freaking do shit. So this week's video, it is different. It isn't like our typical content, but I think it's important for me to share these thoughts and these revelations that I have with all of you guys, because then it gives you a better understanding of how I'm doing mentally and what I'm gonna be doing moving forward. So my plan for this week, and maybe we can tie that into like next week's video. Maybe next week's video will be us getting on a sustainable routine that gives back to ourselves and fills our own cup and has us do all those things that we know are good for us, but we don't do. That's for next week. This week, we're just being real, we're just being human, and we are shining light on all those struggles that are so normal. Like, it's okay to feel the way that I've been feeling. But our mind is just really, really powerful, and these habits and this way of thinking and all these emotions are just deeply, deeply ingrained. Right now, I do not have control over my own mind because it's running the show. It's like seeking out these emotions and looking for opportunities to validate my addiction to stress, my addiction to anger or unhappiness or whatever. And it can feel very helpless, but it is also exciting because just like you wired your brain that way, you can also wire it a different way, a way that is happy and calm and gentle and creative. So that's really my priority right now. So this next week, we're reconnecting with ourselves. We're taking our power back. We are taking that weighted backpack that we've been carrying on our shoulders for so long, and we're putting it down, and we're saying all of these things don't serve me anymore. And I get that they're trying to protect me, but it's not necessary anymore. It doesn't serve me in the place that I'm trying to be moving to, in the version of myself that I'm trying to create. So gently, we're setting it down and we're saying, no mas, no more, we don't need it. I'm freeing myself, I am, and it's just gonna be really good. It is a healing girl summer, and hot girls heal. Thank you for watching. Thank you for holding space for me to vent all of this stuff out. This was scattered, I'm scattered. It's okay. I'll see you guys next week. I love you guys. Bye. Cheers. Was that good? I hope so.